Hello, everyone. Welcome to the market update for Tuesday, November the 2nd. We have the indexes moving to new all-time highs, and the Russell 2000 is also getting close to breaking out to new all-time highs. We'll look at that here in just a second. We'll start off here with the direction alerts. We are seeing momentum very close to moving into the extreme range. It's not quite there yet. And this is one of the reasons why I still feel that even though the markets are getting a little overextended, that they still have that potential to move a little bit higher. We're not quite in that extreme reversal risk area. And but it could get there very quickly, and so that's something we'll keep a close eye out for in the next few weeks to see if we end up moving into that area. Excuse me. Breadth is still lagging. We're not even out of the trending area here. We're not even into the high range, and that does worry me a little bit. But there again, that's the other reason why there's some optimism that we can move higher, is that there's just a few stocks that have been pushing this market higher. If there is more participation, then we could start to see all three of these indicators move into that extreme range, like I said, which we're not there yet, but it could end up getting there pretty quickly. There's a little bit of hope that the breadth will pick up with yesterday's move in the Russell 2000. Had a pretty big move. We'll look at that chart here in just a second. But there hasn't been a lot of participation in the recent rally, and so that's something that concerns me a little bit. The sentiment indicator, we're getting pretty close to getting into the extreme area here, but we're still not there yet. Again, reason to believe that we could still continue to move higher. There's not that extreme level of complacency, which you tend to see at a market top, and so we're still looking okay as far as that goes. If we take a look at the buy-sell ratios, again, not in any sort of extreme level there. The buy-sell ratios in the entire market are about 2 to 1. So again, these are conditions where we could look to add if we need to. The sentiment indicator is getting pretty close to that red level there, which could indicate a little bit of a pullback, but we're not quite there yet. So again, in the near term, still looks like the market could push higher, and we're still expecting it to do that. Now, if we look at the individual charts, I'll take a look at here. You can see the S&P 500, again, another new all-time high today. It had a little bit of a pause yesterday, but kind of reversed that, moved higher today. But even with this move that we've been in, we're not in that extreme reversal risk area. So again, you assume that we can still continue to move higher. Now, once we do get into that extreme reversal risk, if we start to see those other indicators get into that extreme level, then we have to start worrying about a larger pullback. But like I said, we're not seeing that yet, so we're going to continue to assume that the current uptrend is going to continue, and that's the way I would trade, is expecting that trend to continue at this point until we see any signs of reversal. Now, the Qs have moved into the extreme reversal risk, but barely. They can get even more overbought, so I'm not too concerned about that just yet. And the Russell is in that extreme reversal risk, and it is down a little bit today compared to the other indexes. The other indexes are up, and maybe that's just a way it's kind of consolidating a little bit. But if we look at the larger context here, you can see that we're right at that area there, right at the breakout area to break out to new all-time highs. It's been in the sideways range. It's historic now how long the small caps have been in the sideways range. And so, we're expecting it to break out. And we'll see what happens. If it breaks out and we start to see all these other indicators move into that extreme range, and we'll start worrying about a bigger pullback. But the fact that now the small caps are participating is actually quite bullish for the market. Usually it's leading the market. I've mentioned this a number of times. And so we might see it outperform. Maybe we start seeing the small caps break out and move up in a big way, and then it might signal the reversal when we start seeing the small caps start selling off, or they might start selling off ahead of the other indexes. We'll see. But that is a very bullish sign that they're now participating in the rally and are looking to break out to new all-time highs. So that's looking still pretty good for the month of November, at least the early parts of November here, that we should still continue to see that rally. Moving on to the bond market, it's looking like it's trending upward. If you look at the very near term chart, you're seeing higher highs, higher lows. It looks like we've rallied off of yesterday's low right here, which could indicate that we're putting in a higher low right there. So the assumption is that bonds will continue to move higher. Now, again, very often bonds tend to move opposite of the market, so that is a little bit of a. It is something we'll keep an eye on. There's a tendency for the market to move into bonds when the market drops. But obviously the market isn't dropping, it's moving higher, and we're seeing bonds move higher. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if that trend continues. It doesn't always move in the opposite direction. And, but that is something we'll kind of keep an eye on. I mentioned this a while back, that looking at the larger picture here, it looked like this was kind of an ABC pattern right here, correcting this move up in bonds, and that it's possible that we could continue to move higher off of that. It looks like that's what's taking place right here. So again, as trend traders, we're not trying to predict. We're trying to just kind of read what's going on. And as far as what we see right now, the bond market is acting like an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows. So I'm going to assume that that's going to continue. We'll see if that does indeed continue. Looking at gold, again, we're still in this range until we break out of that range. We're right in the middle of that range. I'm going to assume that gold is going to continue to move sideways until it breaks out one way or the other, up above this resistance area or down below this support area down here. We've been stuck in this range for quite a while, and so I'm going to wait until we break that before I assume that a trend is developing there. Moving on to oil. Oil continues to be in an uptrend. It did pull back a little bit last week. Not much. Now, could this be wave A? This little bounce is wave B, and then we have wave C. That's something we'll keep an eye on. But today, we had the little rally yesterday, and then today we opened a little bit lower. We're trading higher than where we opened, so it's based on that, I would assume that it's going to continue to move higher. Overall, though, the trend is up, and I would assume that trend is going to continue to move up. The dollar looks to be in an uptrend. I pointed this out last week. This looks like a little bit of a pullback within that larger move up. And now we had a big move up on Friday, pulled back a little bit yesterday. It looked like we're starting to move back up again today. But we'll keep an eye on that. It's possible. This isn't looking impulsive just yet with the kind of sideways move over the last couple of days here. But overall, it looks like that's a higher low. We're moving up from that. We had a higher high recently, or over the last several weeks, we've moved to a higher high right there. So I'm assuming the dollar is still in an uptrend until I see it break that. And so I'll assume that's going to continue to move higher. The VIX is continuing to move lower with the market moving higher. Now, yesterday we did see a situation where the S&P was up and the VIX was up. But again, it shook it off today. It still moved higher. We're just in a very bullish environment. So I'm not trusting some of the smaller near-term bearish reversal signals I see just because of the conditions we're in. It seems like the market wants to move higher. Like I said, I'll point it out when I see it if it looks different. But right now, everything is pointing to the market looking like it wants to move higher. And so I'm going to assume it's going to continue to do that. The chip sector, the SMH, is broken out to new all-time high. So that's kind of confirming the NASDAQ 100. I don't see anything there that would concern me, and we're not in the extreme reversal risk area yet. So that's pretty bullish for the market. And then the Dow Transports, the IYT, is still moving higher. It is and it's not in its extreme reversal risk area as well, which would be still bullish for the Dow. Again, you want to make sure you're comparing the transportation index, the Dow Transportation Index, to the Dow Industrials, but it seems to be really outperforming lately. Remember, just a few weeks ago, we were wondering if we were starting to see a trend reversal in the transports, and now they've really taken off. And again, that's very bullish for the market that's taking place. We'll see if it breaks out to new all-time high here pretty soon. Let me take a look at a longer-term chart here so we can see how close we are. It's taking a little bit of time to load up here. Let's see if it's going to pull up for us here. There we go. Yeah, we're not too far from that all-time high. We'll see if that ends up breaking out. Bitcoin, after a recent pullback right here, seems to be continuing its uptrend. Looks like it's put in a higher low right here. Obviously, it had the higher high. It's trading a little bit lower than where it opened. So it's down a little bit from the open, but overall, it looks like it's in an uptrend. That uptrend should continue. All right. So again, conditions seem pretty bullish. Let's take a look at our portfolio here. We are up a little bit off of the lows that we were at. We're down around 92,000. I'd like to see us get back up above 100, get positive again. And it looks like a lot of the trades that we're in are starting to break out. We do need to stop out of a trade today on EDRY. You can see it's trading at $27.87. Our stop's at 28. So we'll stop out of that one. But if we take a look at the individual stocks here, let's switch this over to the portfolio. So SBOW, again, starting to move up off of those lows. It looks like this was a little bit of a ABC pattern right here. Hopefully that starts to break out again. So that's a good sign that that's starting to move. IKNX, again, it's still floundering a little bit. It looked like it was starting to move yesterday, and then it faded a little bit into the close, and then it's down a little bit today. This was getting pretty close to the stop. But we'll continue to hold that one. TTI is starting to move. Nice bullish move today. Hopefully this breaks out. Again, this whole trade was based on potential inverse head and shoulders pattern, which again, we've broken out of that. We pulled back to kind of that neckline. It looks like we're starting to move again. Hopefully we can get up to these previous highs and help get that portfolio to get positive again. IRIX is moving. Yesterday it had a big move. Today it's kind of flat a little bit, but it looks like it's starting to break out. That's a good sign. A lot of these stocks again have been moving sideways. We're waiting for them to potentially start moving, and now they look like they're starting to move. TELL, again, it was up pretty nicely yesterday, down a little bit today, but very close to breaking out to a new high right here. Hopefully that takes place this week. ORNP was a big mover today, big move up today. It has pushed it into that extreme reversal risk area, so we'll keep an eye on that. I might tighten up the stop on that. Maybe look for a close below the previous day or something like that. Is a tighter stop. But there again, it could continue to run. The market is looking still pretty bullish, so we'll see if that continues to move. I don't want to do anything based on just what I'm seeing today, but with the move today and the fact that it's in that extreme reversal risk, I might look to tighten up the stop a little bit to make sure it doesn't come all the way back down. AR up today, but still waiting for this to break out. It's been in the sideways range. A lot of these stocks are in the oil sector. We do have a lot of exposure in the oil sector. Luckily, that trend looks like it's going to continue to move higher. But again, waiting for this to break out. Hopefully, this can contribute to some gains in the portfolio as well. CPE, another oil stock, moved up yesterday. A little bit of a pause today. Hopefully, that starts to break out here pretty soon as well. ASAN, consolidating right through here, but it's consolidating right at the breakout area, which is fine. Now, I might move my stop up on this right below here. I'm just waiting, like with the down day today, I want to see it start to move back up again, because it's still possible based on today's move that comes back down to retest that breakout area. But I want to adjust that stop as soon as I can. EDRY, this is one we are going to stop out of. I had a tighter stop on this one right below this low. And I'm going to go ahead and stop out of this just because we don't have any new funds, and there's some other areas we could get into, and maybe put that money to better use. But, you know, this still could just be a kind of a wave C. You know, I had this move up right here. This could be A, B, C. I did have the tighter stop on that, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and get out. BLNK had a nice move yesterday where it gapped up after getting in. I got in on this little buy signal right here. Down a little bit today. But again, our stop is all the way down here, so we're going to let this thing go. It looks like it's starting to turn the corner here from that decline. So I want to see if it has that potential to move back up to these previous highs. All right. So let's go ahead and stop out of EDRY right here. Sell 300 shares at 27.87. And then when we look at the watch list here, Let's see. Well, I don't know. GameStop, I was looking again at GameStop here. It had a nice move up yesterday, but I just noticed that it's moved into that extreme reversal at the far right side of that extreme reversal risk. So actually, I might just hold on to the cash for now. Let's see if there's anything else in the watch list here that looks good. There's this SENS, but even then we're kind of in the middle part of that extreme reversal risk into a buy signal right there yesterday. Actually, that looks like a pretty good pattern. Well, I think I'll hold off. Just going through the rest of the watch list here. Some of these are still in the oil sector. I don't want to. We already have a lot of oil stocks, so I don't necessarily want to overload into that sector. I'm just going to sit tight. That made a big move today. CDR right there. I don't know that I want to chase that though. I think I'll drop CEIX out of it had a big drop today. I think I'll drop that out of the watch list here. All right. So now real quickly, a couple of stocks that we could put into the watch list under the oil sector right here. There's this REI, Ring Energy, 897 strength rank. It's a nice little pullback right here. Wait for that to go back to a buy signal. Go ahead and add that to the watch list. Put the alert on that one as well. And then under computer and technology, this MSTR. Looks like it's going back to a buy signal today. Had a little bit of a pullback right here, but it's also looking like it's breaking out. So it had this little pullback right here. Looks like it's breaking out. Now I'm not going to put this in the watch list because I'm not looking to trade this because I don't necessarily want to chase this right here on that big of a move. But I'll point it out that it is breaking out. It is something you could consider if that's something you want to do. It's not in the extreme reversal risk area yet, but it's also a little bit of a higher price stock up in the $800 level. And then lastly, under business services, this Riot blockchain, RIOT, this is kind of tied to Bitcoin, kind of a service company for Bitcoin, moved to a buy signal today. Again, it had this big pullback right here. Looks like it put in a higher low. Also looks like it put in a little bit of a higher high right there. We'll see if this continues to move higher from here. Went to a buy signal today. I'll go ahead and put this one in the watch list. We'll keep an eye on it. I'm not looking to add it though right now. I'll put the alert on, but because it's already at looking like a buy signal today, I should get the alert overnight. Not that I plan to trade it, but I thought I'd just point that one out. And that's it. That's kind of where we're at right now. We'll see what happens this week. Like I said, the conditions look like we should be moving higher. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully we'll get the portfolio positive here this week if those stocks continue to trend higher, and kind of go from there. So have a great week. We'll see you Thursday for the stock specific class. Bye, everyone.